Florisabel, this is for you. Am I saying your name right? Florisabel? It's a beautiful name. I hope I'm not butchering it. You asked me if I am having trouble identifying with my new body. I know people do, and I have seen that over and over, so I was prepared somewhat because I've watched so many people in real life or on TV lose a bunch of weight, and then I know of people that have purposely gained it back because they were either uncomfortable or obviously dealt with the weight loss and not what got them to the weight gain. Excuse me, they dealt with the weight gain, not what got them to the weight gain. It's my athlete analogy when I say if a runner on a track team was running in such a way that their ankles hurt, the coach would not focus on the ankles. They would focus on the way the runner was running. So if we really want to lose weight and keep it off, we have to run in such a way that gets us where we're wanting to go and be, and we have to focus on our running. We have to focus on what is our MOs, our modes of operating, not on the result of undesirable behaviors. The result is hurt ankles. The result is of running in such a way that's not good for us. The result of fueling ourselves in such a way that's not good for us is one result can be being overweight. So I've aimed to lose weight countless times in 20 years, spent so much money doing that. This has finally, Bright Line Eating by Susan Pierce Thompson has finally addressed my running. It's addressed my behavior that got me to the weight gain. I know so many people that want to lose a little weight. And if you behave in such a way that's not typically a problem, and you've gained a little weight for some strange reason, maybe you're on steroids, or maybe you had a really heck of a month, but you don't have ingrained behaviors, sure, focus on the weight. But if you behave in such a way that got you overweight, you must address the behavior. Now, what I've seen over and over is people gain their weight back, obviously because they didn't address the behaviors. But some people on purpose because they didn't like their new body and they could not psychologically connect. I am aware that I am not my body. That is a huge, if I can just encourage you to be aware of that. I have a video, I'll link it below, called You Are Not Fat. You are literally not fat. Fat is a yellow sticky substance that is very important. It's both fuel for our bodies, it's stored fuel, it keeps us warm. We also need a certain amount of it, and too much becomes a problem. But to understand that we are not fat because we are not our bodies, then I don't identify with this flesh that I'm in any more than the gift that it is from God, a vehicle that I want to take excellent care of. And also 1 Corinthians 6:19, I believe that's what it is. Do you not know that you're a temple of the Holy Spirit? So I want to take good care of this temple for Him to dwell within. But I know I'm not my body. That helps so much as your body changes rapidly. But to answer your question, yes, yes, yes. And Mom, if you're listening, I had a moment in a dressing room at right around the weight I am now. I'm a few pounds higher than this body I'm in, I should say, is a few pounds higher than it was at one point. I relapsed hard May, June, and July, and I'm finding my way now. I wouldn't even say back to centering, because we're never back to square one, and we don't gain our weight back. It's new weight because we have new life experiences, and it's not square one because we have new life experiences. We're further along on our journeys. So anyways, at one point, somewhere around the weight I am now, certainly these sizes, I was in a dressing room, and all the shopping rules I had for myself at my heaviest weight, I realized, and I sort of needed everything. I was, you know, when you lose that much weight, all of a sudden, almost nothing fits. I should say maybe nothing fits. My jewelry and my purses still fit, but even shoes, I went down a shoe size. So I was in the dressing room, naively thinking it was going to be very fun, and I realized almost immediately that all the shopping rules I had for myself, and look, with 5 kids, I don't love spending hours in department stores. I don't love spending hours shopping, and especially all of us that struggle with our weight, we can relate to that, right? You kind of, hanging out in the dressing room is not where I typically want to hang out. I realized almost immediately that these rules I have for myself that typically help me shop quick because I know what to grab and look for, they were all opposite. At my heaviest, I wanted to minimize certain areas. Now, if I minimize certain areas, I was looking in the mirror, freaked out. It wasn't fun. Small was too big. It didn't occur to me to get an extra small, and it wasn't exciting to get an extra small. I was on the verge of panicking. What do I do? How do I dress this body I'm in? Do I need to get like children's clothing, or I was at a loss, and my mother was there. And Mom, that was no coincidence that you were there with me that weekend, and we thought we were gonna go have fun and let's go spend some money and get me a new wardrobe. And it was a psychological hurdle, and I'm telling you, the enemy was tempting me into believing lies. I was looking in the mirror and I could hear him saying, I was just sensing this whisper from the enemy, tempting me into believing and having the thoughts of, look what you've done. Look what you've done to your body. And now what are you gonna do? Bend your way back? It was paralyzing. It was terrifying, actually. It was very scary. And my mom hustled her way out to that dressing room, to that department store, and started flinging smalls and extra smalls at me. And all of a sudden I looked in the mirror and was like, okay, I can dress this body that I'm in. And all the rules that I once had to be almost flip-flopped. For instance, I didn't want to draw any attention to my upper body or lower body. I didn't want to draw a whole lot of attention. So, I kept things really, really simple, and just, this here is a perfect example. What I have on right now is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, with having lost so much weight, if I wore things like I was wearing that were really simple and just not much to it, I was looking in the mirror and thinking that I looked, the enemy was tempting me into thinking that I looked unhealthy. And I didn't look unhealthy. I just didn't know how to dress this new body. And curves that were there are no longer there. I'm so much thinner now, and I'm dancing around it, but my point is, there's just not so much up top anymore. And now, before I would not have even given something with ruffles or fluff on top. I wouldn't even have barely considered it. And by the grace of God, at a boutique once, especially, I don't even remember if it was before or after this experience, I've learned now that I love all this kind of stuff. These little, I'll show a picture. This is actually, if you want to watch it, you can see pictures of me in this dress on the October 16th video. Today's October 16th. I just wore this dress to preach in this morning. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's got lots of fluff and ruffles and just things that I never would have wanted before that now work very well, and I find to be very flattering to balance me out and give me some fluff where there's not fluff that used to be. So it's a psychological hurdle, and for me it was much more practical than it was emotional, because like I said, I really don't identify, I don't see this body as me. I tell each other, we're not really looking at each other, we're seeing each other's bodies. We are spirits, we are in bodies. There's some logic behind this. For instance, if you weighed 400 pounds and lost 200 pounds, you're not half of yourself, you're still 100% yourself. If you got in a horrific car accident and lost all 4 of your limbs, you're not half of yourself, you're still 100% yourself. you're still 100% you. These bodies we're in aren't us. No more than a man sitting in a blue truck would I describe him as blue. He's not blue, his body, excuse me, he's not blue, his truck is blue. So I didn't have to necessarily get through all of that because I don't identify so much with my body, but I did have to get through the hurdle of how to dress this new vehicle I'm in. And it's been a learning curve, but it's been fun and wonderful. And my mom was with me these past few days, and I showed her all these dresses hanging because I went about 15 years with absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Perfect. Okay, thanks. There's my sizzling fajitas. I'm having a yellow square meal. I'm balancing 2 checkbooks, and I'm enjoying being here while my husband is at home. I'll leave it at that. There's a lot going on at home. I went about 15 years without wearing a dress, period. And now I have so many hanging, and some of them still have tags on them, and it's really, really fun. But yes, Florisabel, expect that. Expect some unexpected hurdles, and that's definitely one of them. Learning to live without sugar, flour, and binging. And if you can do that, if you can live without sugar, flour, and binging, you are likely going to have a lovely problem, a good problem, of having to learn to live in a new body. So, no regrets. I don't regret it. Bye-bye, sugar, flour, and binging. Hello, new body. Hello, new clothes. Hello, new life. 1 Corinthians 5:17. 2 Corinthians 5:17. The old is gone, the new is here. Take off the old. It's Ephesians 4:22 through 24. Put off the old self, put on the new self, and put on the new clothes. So, yes, difficult psychological hurdles. I hope that helps. People ask about loose skin. I most definitely have loose skin. I cannot claim this, but it tickles me when I hear people talk about looking like a melted candle. Again, I don't identify with this body, so I have very loving expectations of it. I don't expect it to keep getting better and better and better and better any more than I expect my Suburban to keep getting better and better and better. I hope that by the time, God willing, I'll live to be in my 90s. I'd love to be over 100 someday, and I have no expectation that I will look like I'm 22. By the time I transition from earth to eternal life in heaven, I want to have taken excellent care of this vehicle and used it up, worn it out, got my money's worth out of it. And I love the loose skin that I have. It represents so many beautiful experiences. He's been with me through them all, and it's been quite the transformation. So let me encourage you to expect some psychological hurdles. Just expect some practical struggles, like, oh, how do I dress this new body of mine? Because all your shopping rules, or a lot of them might have to change. I hope that helps. I love you dearly. I'm traveling with you, and I'm going to get back to this delicious meal and these 2 checkbooks and get my money back in order after traveling. That's it. I love you all. I will talk. We'll talk again soon. Bye.